Today on the Trent Out Loud Podcast. Patois that they're speaking in Toronto, that dialect, there's an origin of that. And now it's turned into like a slang / joke. It's not really like a slang how it was in New York. Anyways, Black Canadians get it. And I just feel like not like us missed that point. What up? It's your boy Trent Out Loud, and I'm back with another episode. All right, it's Wednesday morning. Y'all know what that means. It's hump day. We are on our way to the weekend. It's my third favorite day of the week. Y'all know how I get down. All right, I got a good show set up for you guys today. I got four lead stories. First, we're going to talk about Irv Gotti, the CEO of Murder Inc., being charged with sexual assault. Being accused of sexual assault. That's our first lead story. Then our second lead story, we're going to talk about Donald Trump's doctor talking about part of his ear getting blown off. Our third lead story, we're going to talk about Ingrid Andress, the girl who sang the national anthem. Then in our fourth lead story, we're going to talk about Dr.Umar and what he has to say to Kendrick Lamar about Not Like Us. Then we're going to jump into quick news. We're going to talk about Amber Rose. Then we got question of the day. And then, as always, we're going to close out with some sports news. Y'all know what time it is. Turn your TVs, your radio, or your devices up. I'm about to start this show. Let's go. Irv Gotti accused of sexual assault and abuse in new lawsuit. Irv Gotti has been hit with a lawsuit from a woman who claims he sexually assaulted her. According to Miami New Times, a lawsuit was filed July the 11th down in Miami-Dade. The woman, who has been listed as Jane Doe, claims that at different times from 2020 to 2022, she experienced abuse and sexual assault in St. Martin, Miami, and Atlanta. As a result of the sexual abuse relationship, the plaintiff has suffered severe mental and psychological damage from which she had to be committed to a psych ward, the lawsuit reads. These injuries continued and affected the plaintiff till this day. The woman claims she met Irv through a friend back in 2020. He invited her on a vacation to St. Martin shortly after, and she accepted. When she arrived, she claimed that Irv allegedly pressured her to have sex with him, and or he would send her home. So if she didn't have sex, then he would send her home. Due to his power and influence in the music world, she complied, the suit states. When the trip was over, the two kept in touch, started dating, and eventually progressed into a relationship which she claimed was filled with constant abuse. Some more details are, for instance, when Gotti flew the women to Miami in January 2022 and they stayed at the Four Seasons Hotel, he forced her to perform oral sex on him in an elevator, according to the lawsuit. That summer, when he flew her out to Atlanta, he allegedly forced her to perform oral sex in an Uber. Following the events, the relationship ended, according to the lawsuit. The woman is seeking a jury by trial. Okay, so this is, let me just make sure. Yeah, okay, so this is a civil lawsuit. Just want to make it clear, this is a civil lawsuit, not a criminal lawsuit. This is the same kind of lawsuits that Diddy is facing. Actually, Diddy, because of so many of Diddy's civil lawsuits, he may be criminally charged, but we don't know that yet. But just want to make clear, this is a civil lawsuit. So this woman basically is seeking money. I don't know, man. We're seeing a lot of these civil suits, and every single time I talk about these civil suits, I say the exact same thing. If these accusations are true, why aren't there criminal charges being placed? I think that's what a lot of people was asking with the Diddy situation, and that's what got the police and the people in those jurisdictions where he was being charged or being where the civil lawsuits were being applied. That's when they decided to file criminal charges. We don't even know if those are gonna stick. Same thing like Irv Gotti's. This situation seems, the difference with this situation with Diddy's is that this seems like it was a relationship and not so much where Diddy was more like just hiring girls or just flying girls out. This seems kind of like an on again and off again relationship. I know these things are very sensitive to talk about, but I think it's a little bit hard to kind of prove that when you're in a relationship on again and off again. So that's maybe why it's a little harder to prove criminally and maybe a little bit more easy to prove civilly. So we'll see what's going on. You guys know Irv Gotti and 50 Cent are always at war. 50 Cent has already posted on his Instagram that he is going to have a Murder Inc. documentary. He has reported that this will be the end of Irv Gotti. I think Irv Gotti just got, $100 million check for selling the catalog for Murder Inc. So who knows what will come of this? Who knows if it will stick? We'll follow this case and we'll see if it ends up being like Diddy. Will more people start coming forward? Will there be criminal charges? Who knows? We will see. Let me know what you think about it. Trent Out Loud at CFQR600. CFQR600.com. Comment below or send me a DM. Trent Out Loud or at Exclucity Media. All right, in our second lead story, Trump's doctor says part of his ear got blown off, but no surgery is needed. Trump's doctor says the ex-president had a good part of his ear blown cleanly off when he got shot, but surprisingly, he insists Donald Trump, ain't got no need to go under the knife to fix it. Dr. Ronnie Jackson, who was the White House physician under the Trump presidency and who continues to see and treat the 45th president even now, has been doing the media rounds over the past couple of days and has given some insight into what exactly Donald's injuries look like. According to him, a bullet piercing the upper part of his ear with the flesh and cartilage getting torn clean off, which he explains was why Trump was bleeding so much. Jackson says Trump didn't suffer any sort of contusion in the whole ordeal. And in terms of the road to recovery, he goes on to explain that Donald Trump won't need any extra attention or work to heal, which presumably means he won't need any sort of surgery or procedure. On the contrary, Jackson says Trump's ear should patch itself up just fine on its own. So all things considered, Donald Trump is okay, which was evident at the RNC appearance on Monday. Trump showed up for day one of the week-long event, and his entrance was highly anticipated and well received by the conservative crowd. Notably, he was wearing a bandage on his ear, something he's been rocking ever since Saturday's attempted assassination. So images of Trump bleeding has gone viral, and many say the images will go down in history for better or for worse. Dr. Jackson says Trump will wear the bandage for the foreseeable future, which will undoubtedly serve as a reminder to everyone of what happened. Despite some suggestions that the news cycle will brush past this episode, the injury is a lasting reminder. So, oh my gosh, I don't know what to take of that. I guess that answers one question for those of you who listened to Monday's episode. I think it was 284, where it was the first time I was talking about this Trump assassination attempt. And I was talking about the fact that some people say it was staged, some people say it was real. And I was saying that if the reports come out that he was shot in the ear and it wasn't just glass from the teleprompter that cut his ear, then I would, it would disprove the staged attempt, because I personally, just my opinion, don't think you're going to stage an assassination attempt and pay somebody off, a 20-year-old, by the way, to shoot your ear. Like, I know there's some good sniper shooters out there, but I don't see Donald Trump taking the risk of staging something and telling somebody, yeah, just graze the tip of my ear off, but, try your best not to kill me. You know what I mean? Like, that just makes no sense to me. But having said that, just because this doctor is saying that, this is not like a official report from a doctor outside of Donald Trump's camp. So then that brings us right back to the argument that it could be staged, because nobody is giving us any like formal official documentation that can hold up in court. This is his doctor. This is somebody on his team. So I am still on the fence. I don't know if this assassination attempt was real, if it was staged. Them saying that he's going to wear this bandage for the foreseeable future as a constant reminder, leans on the side of it being staged, meaning like he wants, people to remember that they want to take him down, that he's the vigilante, that he's this, he's that, or whatever. He's the president that's going to fight, all this corruption that's going down. So every day it's a battle back and forth in my head if this is staged or if it was really real. I can't wait to see more evidence. I'm sure things will come out like months later, maybe even years later, but we will see what's going on. Let me know what you guys think. I literally feel like there's a lot of people out there like me that are literally on the fence. So I want to hear from our listeners. Let me know. Send me an email, trentoutloud@cfqr600.com. Comment below or send me a DM at Trent Out Loud or enter Exclucity Media on any social handles. All right, this brings us to our third lead story. Ingrid Andress releases statement after national anthem performance. All right, so just let me give you context before I read her official statement. I'm sure most of you know by now. I think it was a baseball game where Ingrid was singing the national anthem, and it's been pretty much voted on that it was the worst national anthem ever in history. That title was held by Fergie from Black Eyed Peas, which was horrible. The thing with Fergie's, it was not so much like vocally, her vocals were bad, but Fergie, it was more like the style where it was like just super weird, where Ingrid's was totally off key. All the notes, like the melody, like everything was just horrible. It sounded like somebody was literally like screaming in their shower. Here is a little clip for those of you who haven't heard it yet.
Oh, the ramparts we watch were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets' red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof to the night.
Okay, I can't play the whole thing, but it starts out where her style sounds eclectic, and then just at the end, those notes were just totally horrible. Anyways, her camp has put this out and said, I'm not going to BS y'all. I was drunk last night. I'm checking myself into a facility today to get the help I need. That was not me last night. I apologize to the MLB, all the fans, and this country I love so much all the fans and this country I love so much for that rendition. I'll let you all know how rehab is. I hear it's super fun. XO Ingrid. I actually now reading that back, I don't think that was her people that put that out. I think she literally just wrote that herself, because how do we take you seriously saying that you're going to check yourself into rehab and then say, hey, I'll let you know how rehab goes because I heard it's super fun? That doesn't sound like somebody that necessarily has a problem to me. That sounds like somebody who is maybe perhaps using this as a little bit of an excuse and saying, hey guys, like feel bad for me, and using the sympathy plea to say, hey, I'm going into rehab, and that wasn't my fault. I do believe she got drunk, but I don't think that rehab is going to solve any of those problems. Anyways, let's just move on to the next story. All right, in our fourth lead story, Dr.Umar asks Kendrick Lamar to explain Not Like Us after Canadian Africans feel disrespected by American Africans. All right, I have a little clip from Dr.Umar. Take a listen.
The good brothers brought it to my attention that Kendrick Lamar's song, They Not Like Us, was interpreted by many American Africans to mean that African Canadians are not African. So I'm going to ask my brother Kendrick Lamar, can you please clear that up? Let me say this to the American African and the Canadian African. We are one people. We are one family.
So I'm happy that somebody is bringing this up, and I'm actually pretty impressed that it's Dr.Umar fighting for Canadians. That just shows that he does care about, like he said, the whole African community, whether you're African Canadian or you're African Mexican. He just cares about the entire African diaspora. So shout out to Dr.Umar. I have always said that about the Not Like Us track, where I don't think that the people that like that track understand the the Black Canadian experience. Now, aside from the fact of like, yeah, winning the beef or whatever, I'm not even getting into that. I'm more just talking about the things that he's talking to about Drake. It's because he doesn't understand the Black Canadian experience. Him saying like, oh, you need to go to Atlanta for this, you need to go to Houston for that, or whatever. It's like, he is indirectly saying that because he's Canadian, a Black Canadian, that, you know, he has to come in, live off of, or kind of profit off of Black American culture, as if we don't have a Canadian Black culture up in Canada. And it's not that we don't, it's just that the American Black experience or culture is more aware and more prevalent and more easy to notice. Like, for example, just the accent. Like, you could pick up a Southern accent. You could pick up a New York accent. Everything that we watch on TV, movies, or whatever, it's all based pretty much in the States. Every show is either from New York or from LA. I'm talking about the background of the show from New York, LA, Chicago. Like, so you know about that. There's not too many shows coming out of Canada for you to understand globally what, you know, Black Montrealers are like, or Toronto, Montreal's like. You know, when Drake jumped on Delilah and we're all laughing up here, a lot of people in the States were like, is this serious? Like, no, that is a joke. You know, like part of the West Indian patois that they're speaking in Toronto, that dialect, you know, it comes, there's an origin of that. And now it's turned into like a slang / joke. It's not really like a slang how it was in New York. Anyways, I'm not going to go on to explain the whole Black Canadian experience, but Black Canadians get it. And I just feel like Not Like Us was how do I explain that? I just feel like Not Like Us missed that point. I know Kendrick was just trying to you know, diss Drake however he could, but I feel like the people that were, I think more what I'm trying to say is that the people listening to it didn't get it, because it's not Kendrick's responsibility to get it. He's there just trying to diss the man. So he's going to say whatever he can, but the people listening to it don't understand, or the Americans that are listening to it don't understand of what the Black Canadian experience is. But on the flip side, that's also up to Drake to show the world what that Black Canadian experience is. But anyway, shout out to Dr.Umar for holding Kendrick Lamar to the candle, holding him to the flame. And yeah, if you are so, you know, adamant about being Black and about being the culture, Black culture or Black hip hop culture is not only American, it is also worldwide. But again, I understand that it's a diss track, so you got to do what you got to do. You know, all is fair in love and war. All right, this brings us to quick news. Ring my bell. Amber Rose calls out commentator Joy Ann Reid and says she never said she wasn't Black. However, in February 2015, Amber Rose sat down with Peter Rosenberg on the Hot 97 show and said she didn't consider herself a Black woman. As the conversation of Amber's race continues to be a topic, everyone online keeps bringing up Jocelyn Hernandez and Amber exchanging words during the BET College Hill. So for those of you who don't know what's going on with Amber Rose, let me play a little clip. Amber Rose is speaking on the first night of the RNC convention, and she goes up there and she's talking about, her experience, having a white father and a Black mother, and how she doesn't consider herself a Black woman, and that she's biracial, and that how the media was tricked her and made her think that she shouldn't like Donald Trump, and blah 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 blah, and why Donald Trump is amazing. And then she ended off by saying like, this is home for me. Anyway, so she's getting dragged by, of course, the hip hop community, the ethnic community, not only just Black, but the people in hip hop culture who she actually made her whole living on, her millions of dollars off of. And now she goes to the RNC convention and says this is where she feels at home. So she is getting dragged right now. Anyways, I'll play a little clip and then I'll continue and read to you what she said to Joy Ann after I play the clip. Take a listen.
I'm no politician and I don't want to be, but I do care about the truth. And the truth is that the media has lied to us about Donald Trump. I realize Donald Trump and his supporters don't care if you're black, white, gay, or straight. It's all love. And that's when it hit me. These are my people. This is where I belong.
Anyways, where is her? Okay, so after this now, after all the backlash or whatever, also somebody from CNN too, Van Jones was saying that how she's so great for the Republican convention. She's going to steer a lot of votes away from the Democrats. Like, I don't believe that at all. Amber Rose is an OnlyFans model and Instagram influencer. Nobody is going to take her political opinions about Donald Trump and be like, oh my gosh, Amber Rose is voting for Donald Trump, I'm going to vote for her, at all. Just because you see somebody from the hip hop community endorse Donald Trump doesn't mean that their followers are going to automatically go and support Donald Trump. I don't believe that for 1 second. Anyways, Amber wrote this. She said, hi, Joy Ann Reid. I never said I wasn't black. I said I identify as biracial. I'm not going to invalidate my white father to make you feel more comfortable. Stop being a race baiter. Your president does enough race baiting for all of us. Anyways, I just think that Amber Rose should just sit down and sit this one out, but she's already made her bed, so she has to lie in it. She has gone over to the other side. She's not the only one. I've seen there's a couple of people, in the hip hop industry. I've seen a couple of people like in the influencer industry that has gone over to the Trump side. I'm not fooled by this at all. I could tell that this is paid, that Amber is paid to be doing this. I seen her on her Instagram wearing that big gold Donald Trump chain and stuff. Like even like Waka Flocka. Like I could tell this is the Trump party literally just trying to go after the younger demographic and fool them. Try to get their votes just by going after their favorite influencers. So we'll see if it works. Who knows? All right, this brings us to question of the day. All right, this is a pretty easy question. How cheap are you? All right, so Justin LeBoy said, shout out to the cheap people who get drunk before they go out to the club. Yo, I actually just started doing that again the past couple of weeks. It's actually so much fun. Conceited NYC said, gosh damn, that's wild. Okay, no answer. Darkskin.live said, that's poverty. Am I missing something? Oh, somebody answered. Sorry, I didn't read. Somebody asked the question and then underneath somebody answered and said, I wash styrofoam plates and reuse them. Okay, got you. That's why those two answers were saying that's poverty and gosh darn, that's well. Okay, let's go back to people who are actually answering the first question. Big Lip _bandit said, I cut open lotion bottles to get the rest out. Okay, I don't go as far to cut the lotion bottles, but I do unscrew the pump, take the cream off of the pump nozzle, and then I will hit the bottle in my hand until it all comes out. But cutting it open, yeah, that's another level of cheap, bro. I am Perrier say, nah. Okay, sorry, that's answering the question. Okay, somebody said, when I'm done pumping gas, I shake it just to make sure everything is out. Yeah, I do that too, but I just want to make sure that no gas drips on my car because it really is bad for your paint. But if you're actually trying to get everything that you paid for, yes, that is cheap. Pick It Vibe said, I will put the high price pack of meat back if I see a pack with 1 cent cheaper. I don't know why people do that. The pack of meat is not cheaper. There's just less meat in there. You're still paying the same amount. If it's let's say $1.99 for a pack of something. Actually, hold on. That's horrible price because nothing is that cheap anymore. All right, if a pack of meat is $29.99 a pound, that's more like 2024 inflation prices. If a pack of meat is $24.99 and one pack costs $17 and the other pack costs $21, it's just that there's less weight in there, so that doesn't make any sense. Somebody said, hold on, let me find one. Okay, Amber Nietzsche said, I'll buy something with cash just so the money won't leave my bank account as if it makes a difference. Okay, thank you. You already answered your own self. I'll let you slide with that. Moet T said, I'm cheap, like take me to the hospital. Do not call the ambulance. You can tell you live in the US. In Canada, we can call the ambulance and it doesn't cost us anything. Actually, you know what? I think Medicare covers it. Official Cash said, I drive past gas stations until I find the lowest. Okay, that's fair. That makes sense. Somebody said, hold on. Sorry, a lot of these people are answering the guy who said he washes paper plates. Here we go. So Fox Shauna said, I'll buy food from one place, then get a drink from McDonald's specifically because it's $1. Okay, that is cheap. What I will do is not buy a drink if the place, for example, just has like expensive drinks, not a fast food place. But, some of these, I won't say higher end, but non-fast food places, like those middle places, they'll have like their drinks start at like $5 or $6. I'd be like, no, it's all right. I'll just take the sandwich, please. So 100% I agree with that. All right, let me find two more. I Cook Keem said, I know I'm not the only one that saves in plastic bags and use them for my trash bins. Okay, that's not cheap. A, you're saving the environment, and B, that's just, why would you throw them out? 1,000%. I never understood why. Well, I do understand because I want to make you buy it. I answered my own question. Forget it. All right, one last one. Zirka_CEO said, I don't care how well off I am. I will always pregame. Yeah, drinking before the club. It's fun because you walk into the club a little tipsy or whatever, blah, blah. And then, yes, you don't have to spend. Drinks are getting expensive, man. $20, $30 a drink. Damn, man. But yeah, pregame drinking is always dope. Actually, hold on. I just found another one. Styrofoam, no, but, he's answering the question. So this is another question. I'm going to add this to the listeners, seeing that these people keep talking about it. Do you wash your styrofoam cups? Do you wash your reusable cups, the plastic ones, the styrofoam ones, even if they're not good quality? Because I know there's some really good quality ones out there. If they're not good quality, do you still wash them? This person says, styrofoam, no, I won't rewash them. But those little plastic soup containers from the takeout spots get washed out, and I use them for my cereal. So let me know. I'm changing the question a little bit. The styrofoam and plastic cups, do you guys wash them out? Or like this person, do you reuse them? Some people use them as Tupperware. I know my mom does that. But she's Jamaican, man. You know how she gets down. Anyways, let me know. Send me an email, trentoutloud@cfqr600.com. Comment below. Send me a DM, Trent Out Loud or Exclucity Media on all social platforms. All right, this brings us to sports news. Skip Bayless is leaving Fox Sports 1 and his role on Undisputed after 8 years, the New York Post reports. His final show will be later this summer. I don't have any more information on this. The details have not been made aware to anybody. I Googled it. I couldn't find anybody have any information. Comment below or let me know. I think maybe why this is a little bit hush-hush is Skip Bayless did this to himself. And I'm not going to be afraid to say that. He had his show with Stephen A. Smith, who went on now to First Take. He left ESPN to go to Fox, where he felt like, I guess, he could branch off from Stephen A. Smith and do his own thing. He was lucky enough to team up with Shannon Sharpe, who now has moved over to First Take on ESPN and just signed a lucrative contract. And it looks like, not taking anything away from Skip, but I think that Skip was too, I don't think the right word is necessarily aggressive, but he was just too rude to the athletes, if I could say that kind of. That's not the best word I could find, but he just went too, I think he alienated himself from the sports world, where Stephen A. Smith won't be afraid, or Shannon Sharpe won't be afraid to say something to athletes or say something about athletes, but there is a limit because you need to have a relationship with people in the league. Skip Bayless burnt his bridges in the sports world. That's the best way to look at it. Like, there's nobody that's going to talk to him or give him any news or any advanced stories, or no athlete, wants to work with him. Nobody wants to come on to the show. And ultimately, his worst decision or his worst move was how he treated Shannon Sharpe. For those of you who are avid, sport watchers or even watch Undisputed, you could tell within the last 6 months that they were working together, Shannon Sharpe was really getting disgusted with how Shannon Sharpe was treating him. He was rude. People saying that he was like being indirectly racist when they got into an argument one time and Shannon Sharpe took off his glasses and he's like, put your glasses back on. It was almost like, put your glasses back on, boy. Like he didn't say the boy, but how, his intonation and how he was talking to him was very condescending. There was times where he said, Tom, you were never even close to being that good. And Shannon Sharpe was like, yeah, I was in the Super Bowl. I'm a Hall of Famer. He's like, who cares? There's so many better players than you. And he was just very condescending. It is a debate show, but you still have to have a respect for your counterparts and your colleague. And I think that just, Skip Bayless kind of just made too many mistakes and burnt too many bridges. And Fox News just let him go. They're saying that he's leaving, but from what I think is probably they let him go. They fired him, but just out of respect for who he is, because at the end of the day, he's still a legend. I feel like they're just kind of brushing it under the rug and saying that, his last show will be at the end of the summer and he could just ride off into the sunset. So lesson to everybody out there, man, do your thing, speak your mind, but always be respectful to other people because you'll never know when you'll need a hand somewhere down the line. All right, this brings us to our second sports story. Kobe Bryant's dad and basketball great Joe Jelly Bean Bryant has reportedly passed away at age 69. With all the news that was passed of him passing away, Vanessa Bryant, Kobe Bryant's wife, Vanessa Bryant speaks out following the news of Joe Bryant's passing. She shared that her father-in-law was nice and sweet to be around and continued to send her prayers to the rest of the family. So I will read to you her I think it's like her, I don't think it's like an official press statement. I think she just put this on Instagram. She said, sending our condolences upon hearing the news of my father-in-law's passing. We hope things could have been different. Although the time we spent together was few, he was always sweet and nice to be around. Kobe loved him very much. Our prayers go out to the family. So we all know that's not really 100% true because Kobe was not very close with his parents. Him and Vanessa Bryant Kobe and Vanessa Bryant were pretty much estranged. You could tell by that post where she got the news, so she didn't even know he was passing away or sick. So she was just notified. Kobe was not close with his parents. I think if anything, I think they sued Vanessa when Kobe died for some of the money or whatever. So they just didn't have a good relationship. But it's still nice to hear that Vanessa at least put that out, even if maybe all the words might not 100% be true. Anyways, that is the show. Thank you very much for kicking it with me. I will be back on Thursday. Just want to give you guys a head up. I will remind you guys again tomorrow. Also, though, I will not have a Friday show. It is my birthday, so I am taking Friday off. But I will be back tomorrow. I'll be back for Thursday's show. So one more show for me. All right. Before I go, I just want to remind you guys of all the ways that you can stay in touch with the Trent Out Loud podcast. For those of you who are watching this show on YouTube or listening to this on podcast platforms, please try to check us out on CFQR600.com from Monday to Friday from 11 to 12. We do play the Trent Out Loud podcast, and we mix it in with 90s and 2000s hip-hop and R&B. I select the music. I put it all together. It's a dope hour. It's a great way to listen to the show while you also get to catch up on your classic hip-hop and R&B tracks from the 90s and 2000s. Vice versa, if you're used to listening to this on CFQR600.com or 600 AM in the Montreal area, and you can always catch the show from 11 to 12, don't worry. We upload every single podcast on YouTube or podcast platforms so that you never have to miss the show. Just go to your desired site, type in Trent Out Loud. The show will pop up. Don't forget to hit the follow or subscribe button so you can be notified whenever we upload new shows. Lastly, for those of you who like to watch your podcast with video, Spotify now supports video. And if you ask me, it's a better way to view your podcast because with YouTube, and if you close the app, you have to start everything back over. With Spotify, you can close, do whatever you want, get a phone call, and you will not lose your place. So for those of you who don't know that video is on Spotify, try to check out. Not everyone uploads video, but of course, the Trent Out Loud podcast. We are up to date with everything that's going on. Anyways, and also to follow us on Instagram, Trent Out Loud, and the media, Exclucity Media on Instagram and all social platforms. Thanks a lot for kicking with me. Like I said, I will see you tomorrow for Thursday's show. Peace. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. It's your boy, Trent Out Loud. Peace.